Welcome everyone to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I'm CJ Millen, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton. It's a full house.
I did indeed return from my vision quest, as you guys were so accurately named it. My spirit animal is a sloth.
Ah, I thought you were the lizard.
No. My spirit guide was Ryan Reynolds. Showed me the way of the sloth. Although when I came to, it wasn't Ryan Reynolds. It was just a homeless guy that lives down the street. But it was still very informative.
It still tracks for me. I don't see any reason that would take away the results.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
May the sloth be upon both of you.
Well, since you're back, it is now time to talk about the world of movies. It is a little segment that we call Screen to Screen. Well, our first story is thanks to Amazon, it is now slightly less annoying to watch Star Trek Discovery. If you're familiar with this, if the only way to watch Star Trek Discovery is to get CBS All Access, which is about $6 a month. But if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you're kind of used to just going to one app and dealing with all your content there. Well, you can now get CBS on Amazon's Prime subscription service with TV. However, it is part of a, you guessed it, $6 a month package. So it's the same cost, but you don't have to go to a different app. It's all in one location. That's why it's only slightly less annoying to watch Star Trek Discovery. But even with that, yeah?
My question is one question, possibly two-part. I'm already an Amazon Prime member. I pay every year for it, and I already have access to Amazon Video because of that.
Yes.
Does that include this?
No, because what you're really getting is the Amazon...
Second part of the question.
Sure.
Second part of the question.
Yes.
What the fuck, man? That's dumb.
Wait, that wasn't a question.
They're doing Hulu. They're doing what Hulu's doing. They're doing what YouTube is doing. They're doing what Sling TV is doing, and now they're doing their own little a la carte TV thing, and that is including CBS.
This makes no sense to me.
Yep.
The sloth is not with them.
So listen, again, it's the same cost, but it's now just in one place. Because I don't know if you ever used the CBS All Access app. It's garbage. And the Amazon Prime app on Apple TV and on my Android TV is awesome. So I'd rather use that to watch it. But it's still the same thing. I'm still stuck behind another subscription service I had to get to watch just one show, and I don't really want to watch that show. That show's not worth the $6 to me.
I have not had the same experience with Apple TV and Prime Video.
Okay, what's your experience been like?
It's been shitty. Like, even the stuff that are like Amazon originals, it's telling me I can't watch it. It just doesn't work right, is my problem. It doesn't work the way it should. It doesn't work like Netflix. So I like it not at all.
I mean, even Hulu is slightly easier to navigate and better.
Slightly is not the right word, because Hulu is very easy to navigate. It's not as nice as Netflix, but it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't watch a ton of stuff through my Amazon Video. Let's face it, I pay for Prime so I can get 2-day shipping.
Right.
But I mean, when I have, it's not the easiest. Like, God forbid I'm searching for a particular show. It's really tough to try and find.
Netflix and Hulu are both easier to use than like HBO Now even, right? And HBO Now is a nice app, but it doesn't have like a continuous sort of, if you're trying to binge something, it won't just launch the next episode, which is stupid.
Yeah, that's a must have.
Yeah, so I'm saying what I'm saying is Hulu and Netflix both better than HBO Now, which is the best of all of the HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, all those. But Amazon is not as nice as HBO Now, which really puts it sort of like, and I understand that like on my PC it has that auto continue feature, but I just can't get it to work on two Apple TVs. I don't get it.
But here's the question, though, at the end of this. Because it's the same cost as Amazon Prime, as CBS All Access, does that help you at all? Like, does the fact that it's all at least under one roof make it still desirable to pay that money just to see this show? Like, is that still grabbing you at all?
I have a second question.
Star Trek what?
Discovery.
Yeah.
Is anybody watching that show?
enough to greenlight a second season. Yeah,
This is the one that just started, right?
Correct.
That was only on CBS All Access or whatever.
correct.
No, false. Pass.
Doesn't your Apple TV app put all that stuff under one umbrella anyway?
No, because it doesn't include those two. That's
That's correct. So everything that can go into the TV app does, but not every app participates in that. So like anything that I own, be it movies or TV, like I own all of Doctor Who, like all of it. So it's easy to binge watch that just by hitting the TV button on the remote or just by going to the recently viewed in the TV app, because the next episode's always up next. It's easy, right? Plus anything you've recently viewed movie wise and whatnot, but like Netflix doesn't go in there, which is a pain in the balls, right? I'm assuming Prime Video, if I could ever get a video to launch on Prime Video, I'm assuming that also would not go in there, but it'd be nice if it did. It's just one of those like, first world problem, minor inconvenience things that you have to, I've got to exit out of this and launch a different app. It's dumb, but whatever.
It comes down to this, though. Every way that CBS tries to make nerds like us find value in paying some money to watch this show are like, nah, no thanks. Like there's like nothing they can do that would make me want to pay money for the show.
I'm sure there's something. Everybody's got their price, CJ. I'm sure there's something they can do.
You had to do some really big stunt casting to get me on board.
Stunt casting? Like what, Jim Carrey on Star Trek Discovery?
You know what? I don't think I would watch that right now with the way Jim Carrey's been.
He's been acting like a fucking alien is what he is. He'd be perfect.
Yeah. They just put him in just a little bit of makeup, not a whole lot, just a little bit. But he
not
like
a ton. Don't go full Grinch. Just like some little.
Still keeping the beard. Put the beard in.
Yeah. Gotta do that.
Probably not gonna do it. Joshua Burns.
What?
I know you to be a big fan of the FX original show Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I sure am. Huge fan.
And I know that we've talked about that there is a possible spinoff of the MC Mayans, right?
That was we discussed that like a year
ago. It's been what's going on with it. Well, guess what, buddy? It's been officially picked up by FX.
Really?
So it has officially begun that this is going to be on the air. It takes place after all the stuff with Jax. So it's after the events of Sons of Anarchy. And it is set to debut sometime in 2018, but we're getting it this year. It's coming to FX.
I mean, I like Sons of Anarchy. I don't know that I like a show that takes place after those events, but I'll watch first couple episodes.
And Brian, was this a show is this on the list at all? Where does this show kind of sit within your pantheon of shows?
It's on the list.
With everything else.
All right.
I got stuff to do. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have time.
We talked last week about how you've got to add stuff to your. Did you get through all of Doctor Who at least? Are you caught up at all?
No. Why would I get caught up on Doctor Who when I hate Capaldi so much?
Hurts my heart to hear you say.
I will push through it, but it's low on the list.
All right.
I don't like Capaldi, like at all.
That hurts my heart. Well, Brian, I know something that you do like. And
we'll see about that, CJ.
Okay, and there is another reboot coming of a beloved animated franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is getting a reboot.
The fourth reboot, you mean?
Yeah, but this is like an actual they're kind of doing this in the same feel of DuckTales.
Woo!
As a matter of fact, thank you. Ben Schwartz is actually going to be voicing Leonardo in this reboot.
Who's Ben Schwartz again?
Ben Schwartz is Ben Ralphio. John Ralphio, I mean, from
John Ralphio. That's fantastic. Good for him. I didn't watch the last two Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboots. I love the Turtles. Don't get me wrong. Love them. I love the 80s cartoon. I love the movies. I even enjoyed the brand new movies that came out. just have not been impressing me with the show, so I haven't watched it.
Omar Miller, which you may know from Ballers or The West Wing. He is going to be voicing Raphael.
Who?
Omar Miller. He's from Ballers.
Okay, so a show I don't watch. Okay, what else is he from?
He's in a bunch of other things, but he was also he's in an episode of The West Wing.
So a show I also have not watched.
Open up the link real quick, and you can see these people's faces because I'm terrible with names.
He's a big giant man. Omar Miller.
He's a big giant man.
Very big giant man.
Is he cool but rude?
That's the thing. That's my problem with him playing Raphael is that he doesn't have a mean bone in his body.
Right. That's very true.
So he's not rude.
No,
not my Raphael.
Right.
Just an open bar paps, man. You know,
not my Raphael. Hashtag not my Raphael.
Here's the weird thing, though. When they were giving the description to the characters, they were talking about Leonardo, and there was one word missing from his description, and that was the word leader. It looks at the leader this time is falling to Donatello.
Nope.
He can't be the science genius and also the leader.
No,
but
this does not work. No, each turtle has their role.
You know what's going to happen is Donatello's going to lead him down a bad path in episode 3, and Leonardo's going to have to take over. You know what I mean?
Like, take it all over.
There's no way Leonardo isn't the leader. Although casting Ben Schwartz absolutely throws some doubt on his ability to be a leader. I don't imagine that dude saying anything influential ever. Like without singing it in falsetto.
We're gonna get pizza.
That's what I'm saying. Like this already is not serious for me.
And I mean, Josh, I think it's Brenner from Silicon Valley.
He was bought a Lexus.
He was what is it? Mickhead?
What?
What's his name? The guy from Silicon Valley who like
Mickhead wasn't in Silicon Valley.
No, what the fuck did they call him? Big Head. It's Big Head. My bad.
Yes.
Josh Brenner is Big Head from Silicon Valley.
We gotta rewind.
Yes, Big Head from Silicon Valley.
In the article that you so eloquently yelled at me to look up is saying that, yes, Leonardo's not the leader, but it will be Raphael.
Oh, I apologize.
That makes more sense to me.
That does make more sense, but it's still wrong.
Still wrong.
I'd be okay in a situation where Raphael got his shot. I really would. I really would.
He's not going to throw away that shot.
When he went like a show where he's not portrayed as like an overreacting, immature, just impetuous, petulant child. I just don't.
But he's not a whiny, right?
Well, Raphael doesn't often go to whiny, right? But he throws tantrums. Like I'd like to see, and in that context, I'm okay with the guy they cast because I'd rather I'd like to see him as Leonardo in the leader type scenario. Omar Miller, give me Leonardo. But if Raph is going to be the leader, he already has like a big giant presence, and you got to think that's going to come out in his voice, and I'm okay with that. Especially if we're going to make Raph the leader.
Now, Brian, you were going to say something, and
I have a huge problem with how they're describing each of the turtles.
Okay, so what is the problem?
A huge freaking problem. Leonardo is described as the self-professed coolest brother and possesses irreverent charm and a rebel heart. That's not him.
That's not Leonardo. No,
that sounds more like Michelangelo.
Yeah.
So Raphael,
maybe they just copied and pasted their descriptions.
I don't know. It's very possible. Much like in the old 80s cartoons, sometimes the wrong bandana was colored the wrong color.
Yeah.
Raphael is described as the leader, and his enthusiasm and bravado puts him in front and center for the most of their bizarre adventures. That's Leonardo. Michelangelo is an artist, awesome skateboarder with a wild, colorful, and imaginative personality. I guess that you can kind of use that to describe Michelangelo. And poor Donatello never changes. Unflappable mechanical genius, tech wizard whose ninja skills are second only to his coding. Okay. April O'Neil is a street savvy native New Yorker who is always ready to join on the fun. So she's like the lady who works the subway train in Ghostbusters. Is what you're telling me.
Who's going to be April O'Neil?
The girl from Vampire Diaries, Kat Graham.
A lady of the night is what you're saying.
A lady of the night, yes.
Kat Graham. I'm
not okay with this. No.
No, I can't. No, not April O'Neil.
I am not. Now let me make this very clear. I am okay with the casting. I am not okay with the direction that the show is apparently going to take.
Yes, that is a very, very important distinction to make.
I am fine with the casting.
Right.
I think they're all capable of being turtles.
The direction.
Just not this direction. No.
Right.
No. Raphael's always the cool but rude one. He's got to be cool but rude. That's the way he is. He's got to be the hothead. He's got to have a temper. And you can't put that guy, as much as I love you, Josh, you can't put that kind of guy in charge of the turtles. That's the whole point. That's what makes them work, is because Raphael's the hothead. He's always the one who wants to go in, stab first, ask questions later. And Leonardo's the guy who's got to reel him back in and say, this is how we do things.
Would it be interesting if we rewrote that a little bit?
Reboot Turtles?
Rewrote it. Just saying, you know what, this time Leo's going to be the hothead.
I don't like that, though.
Except he's not, like, look at the asshole they cast to play Leonardo. Like, does that, like, in any way speak leader to you? I just think he's going to be out trying to fornicate. So, like,
probably with April O'Neil, which again is always creepy. That's a thing that the turtles like always have hanging over their heads.
Where I'm at with it is, if Raph is going to be the leader, then I think they cast the right guy to voice him. So, if that's the case, then okay, like I'm on board thus far. I don't.
So what you're saying is you're okay with them taking the risk, right, of shaking things up just a little bit with the turtles, right?
No. That's not a little bit, CJ. No. This is a page one rewrite.
Oh, you're just talking. Throw
this
out
is
all the canon. Let's.
But that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
Said, hey,
it's this is a fucking page one rewrite. They are totally changing the turtles' personality.
You see this thing that worked for the past 30 years? Let's break it. Let's do something different. No. Makes me
okay. So anyway, tell me how.
I'm not okay with this.
I'm sensing a split decision. I'm saying that
you're sensing extreme.
Josh is on board for this. Brian is saying hell no, and I'm just sitting here going, I just don't want to be the tiebreaker. I don't want to be that guy.
Why? What? Wait. What? Why don't? What? Who are you? Switzerland? You don't get to abstain.
I think this is a good idea. I like this.
And
I think the casting is good. I agree with your first initial theory, Josh, that Raphael's in charge for like 3 episodes, and then Donatello's like, give me that. And this may just be
Leonardo.
Yes, fine.
You want to stop mixing up the turtles, man?
I'm sorry.
This is something very near and dear to me.
I kind of agree with your initial theory, Josh, is that Raphael will be in charge for about 3 episodes, then Leonardo will be like, you know what? Give me that. And then he's in charge.
Except when you look at who they cast, that it almost makes it an impossibility.
I understand.
Ben Schwartz is not leading anybody.
I don't see anybody. I don't see any mention of Splinter in here.
And that's okay for right now, right? Because now
it's not okay.
No, right now, you want to announce the 4 main characters.
Splinter, no, there's 5 main characters, and Splinter is one of them. April O'Neil is not a main character. She's an ancillary feature.
I know. That's why I said you want to name the 4, and that's the Turtles. You want to name the Turtles. That right now, just the first announcement, just like with Titans, we want this to come out bit by bit because we got some time.
Who's Michelangelo?
The guy from Silicon Valley.
No. Michelangelo.
No, Donatello.
I'm sorry.
Brandon Michael Smith from You're the Worst.
What?
The show's going to be the worst. I will watch the live action version of Turtles with the female Ninja Turtle over this at this point.
Wow. So
and
Brian's calling
bad.
Brian's calling blasphemy on this. He's calling complete lack of canon.
It is a complete lack. No, it's a total lack of canon. You got to forget canon.
No, and that's okay. And right. And Josh is okay with that and saying, look, this is good. This is what we need. And I'm saying, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Oh, wait. You're putting words in my mouth. I never said this is what we need.
Okay. Well, this is okay. This is good. Is that this is what we're getting?
Also, not okay and not necessarily good. What I'm saying is, if you're going to redo the Turtles, a page 1 rewrite is the only way to do it.
Okay.
However, if these fucks start in one direction and then go back to the way it used to be, I'm out. If you're gonna do a page one rewrite, then if Raph is gonna be the leader, then let him lead. Don't you take that away from him, CJ.
Josh, when you look at the studio that's doing this, which is Nickelodeon, you're absolutely right. They're going to stay with and take. No, they're not. They're going to change this right away once they realize people are angry.
No,
it's not going to stay. Okay, so that's obviously. You know what though? I have happy news. Something good that we can talk about. Something that'll bring a smile to some faces. Animaniacs is officially coming back to Hulu for 2 seasons. It's been greenlit for 2 seasons. You can actually now watch all 99 episodes of the original series on Hulu, but
or at my house,
or at your house on your wonderful DVD collection or your Blockbuster if you want to rent it. But it is now kicking off. It's going to be kicking off in 2020 though, so it's got some time.
Well, yeah, it takes time to.
It takes a lot of time to animate.
I don't know
some
if you
stuff.
know,
but
it takes a while.
All original.
Not every show can be South Park. Okay,
right? All original cast. No one's tampering with this. And this streaming deal, if I read this collection, if I read this correctly, I mean, does also include some of the Pinky and the Brain episodes, and Tiny Toon Adventures are also coming to Hulu. No idea if Pinky and the Brain or anything is going to make any kind of a.
Well, Animaniacs was a show of shorts,
a variety,
and skits,
yeah.
which included Pinky and the Brain.
Right, but I don't know if it's coming back.
Yeah, well, Laura mentioned this to me earlier today. Animaniacs is coming back. And I said to her the same thing I say to anybody who says that is I never once watched Animaniacs.
You need to. It's amazing.
Well, especially with the fact that you're older than us.
As a kid, I never watched it.
Right.
My kids have had it on and I've walked, through the living room and have heard something and chuckled. The whole something about Prince and the
it's so good. I can recite that entire scene if you want me to.
No, I get it, but I got like a hearty guffaw, right? Was my reaction. So I get it. It's funny. I never watched it. I don't know that I will now, but it seems like if I need a chuckle, it's something cool to throw on. So when is this blessed event occur?
They are saying sometime in 2020.
Oh, I have less interest.
Listen,
essentially we're gonna have 2 Infinity War movies before this fucking happens.
And by the time it actually airs, we'll have another podcast episode. We'll be like, hey, by the way, Animaniacs is coming back on the air, and then you'll be like, I never really watched it. I watched this one time. There was a Prince joke. We'll just be back in this loop. It'll just be. We'll have deja vu. Mark your calendars.
That's the sign that we're in the Matrix.
I hope when that day comes, my time remnant is at your house and slaps you in the fucking face.
Wait, mine or his?
My time remnant slapping CJ in the face. Oh, also, Brian, we're playing the circle game from now on.
No,
yes,
we're not doing that. Actually, no, I did, because I listened to the podcast last week after I returned from my Vision Quest, and I heard CJ so confidently say that I would not be in for the circle game.
I knew immediately you'd be in for the circle game.
Reason for me to physically harm CJ, I'm in. Let's do it.
I decided, since we were talking about so many TV shows and we don't have a cast for this week, I decided we would play a little game.
I want to play a game.
It's surrounding your favorite TV shows and how they got their titles. So we'll be talking about some shows and asking what the titles mean. See if you can uncover it.
Let's do that. Pencils, by the way, pencils down, Brian. No Googling during the game that CJ has masterfully inserted into the podcast. Keep your hands where I can see them. No fondling yourself.
This whole thing started because I never really understood where the title for Black Mirror came from. And season 4 just premiered. It's very good. Go check it out. But I really didn't realize what could it possibly be. So I would love to hear your explanation. And I want to see who gets it right. We're playing for points as to what the title of Black Mirror means.
Wait, what the title of Black Mirror means? Or
yeah, like
why?
Like, why is it named Black Mirror?
Yeah, I said I have an answer prepared, and that answer is because it doesn't make any sense. A Black Mirror reflects nothing. So essentially, in a show where everything is fucked, the title makes sense to me. But that's,
all right,
that's my only answer.
Okay, Brian.
The black mirror represents a dark void in which we will all die a slow, painful death.
Okay, so you are both wrong. Both wrong. So do me a favor, you both have your cell phones right now?
Yeah.
Okay, now I know you get the fancy iPhone 10 and it unlocks itself when it sees your face, but I want you to just have it with nothing on and just look at it for just a second. And I'll read you the answer here. Black Mirror is a reflection on our society. But nowadays we are reflecting on our society through technology. When you stare at a phone that is turned off, you see your reflection, and that is a black mirror.
Or when you stare at a phone while you're buffering your porno to come up, you're stuck with the reflection of how sad you look before the porno starts.
Okay, so you're both right now at a 0-0, and now I had to put a big
0 is good.
sound in there for both of you. So that is that.
When one of us wins, can you put a
The next one comes from a very popular show that Josh and I have watched, and Brian hasn't, so good luck with this.
Awesome.
And that is Breaking Bad. Where does Breaking Bad get its title from?
It's about essentially it was his split from the norm, right? Breaking Bad was about going against everything that was conventional, normal, and essentially becoming a meth kingpin.
Okay. Brian?
How I will be reacting after we're done with this stupid game?
I'm sorry, that is both incorrect for both of you. Josh, you're very close to this. Vince Gilligan, the show's creator, actually thought it was a common phrase that meant to raise hell. Apparently, it's very common down in the South, and Breaking Bad is apparently to raise hell. The example is, I was out at the bar last night, I really broke bad. Okay, this one I hope we've all have watched, so I'm very curious on. This is the AMC classic set in the 1950s. The title is Mad Men. Where does Mad Men come from?
I know the answer to that.
So, Brian, I'm going to let you go first.
Isn't that what they used to call
Why?
advertisers?
Why?
I don't know why they used to call them that in the 50s.
I know why.
Well, then go ahead.
The advertising business was largely based on companies on Madison Avenue, Ad Men, Madison Avenue, Mad Men.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. All right, the next one comes from a very popular Netflix original show starring Aziz Ansari. It is Master of None. Where does Master of None get its name from? Brian, Shot of Redemption, you are going first.
Isn't it a play on the phrase Jack of all trades but master of none?
Joshua Burns.
Yeah, that was my initial impression as well. But basically, Aziz Ansari is good at nothing.
He's good at he's good at a little bit of everything, but a master at nothing.
Good for nothing.
That is both correct. Now, do we want to award it to both of you, or
it
does
seemed
Brian
pretty
get it because he went first? All right, that's fine. So it is now 2-1 still. Josh Burns in the lead.
Oh, gee, what a surprise! CJ came up with a game that's skewed in Josh's favor. I'll call Ripley's.
All right, the next show is a show that we've talked about, a show that's very popular, but it was originally a UK series. It is House of Cards. This is pretty obvious, so the first person to say it wins.
Well, it's parliamentary. It seems like if you knock out one of the cards, the entire house comes tumbling down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, of course it was, because you're not stupid.
Yeah.
This is Brian. This just also shows that you got to get some shows off your list, buddy. HBO's critically acclaimed show that was set in Baltimore, The Wire. Brian, I'm going to let you go first because I know that Josh knows the answer to this.
Yeah.
I would like to hear why the show is called The Wire.
Maybe. Oh no, hang on. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So they would get all their tips to break up every drug ring through the cans with the wires in between. So they'd get all their tips through that.
Motherfucking Freeman, in between carving out tiny little furniture for tiny little houses, Lester would always tell you it's all about the wire. You got to get up on the wire. You need to get the phones tapped.
That is correct. It is
That's
based
exactly
on the
what I
fact
said with the cans.
that they are
Cans with
doing it off
wire
of
in
a
between.
wiretap, hence The Wire.
I don't like this game. This is
Gotta get up on the wire, Brian.
Brian, this one may be for you. There is a extremely popular show that is nearing its end on FX that is centered around the city of Philadelphia, and it has a wonderful name. It's called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Thank God.
Why is it called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
There's a reason for it, and I've heard it before, and I don't remember. So I'm going to just say I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to take your I don't know as your official answer.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, Burns, why is this show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I mean, is it something about wasn't there something about it's always cloudy in LA? Like I don't know why I feel
It's a phrase of some sort that I've
like
heard
it has
before.
to do with a juxtaposition to the West Coast, but I don't think it has anything to do with
Oh, the sun rises in the east, so it hits Philly before it hits the West Coast.
I actually don't think it has anything to do with anything.
Totally
factual.
does. No, that's my answer. Final answer.
All right. Well,
Okay, so Brian is still wrong.
Damn
Josh, you were so close. You were right there, man. You were there. Initially, the show was based out of Hollywood. It was about actors who were struggling to get a job. They then changed the setting a little bit of it, and it went from L.A. to Philadelphia. The show was initially called It's Always Sunny on TV, based on the fact that it's always sunny in California. And when they changed it to Philadelphia, they couldn't think of a new title, so they just called it It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Because they were then unoriginal bastards, and they're still unoriginal bastards who aren't funny and don't deserve to be watched.
That's very
This
true.
is a show comprised of the worst people who have ever been put on camera.
All right. The next show is an AMC show that I think is a little underrated, which then means that nobody likes it. It is the show Halt and Catch Fire. Where does the title Halt and Catch Fire come from?
Wait, isn't this show about like software developers?
Yes.
Like if you stop moving, you're dead. That kind of thing. That's my answer. I'm done.
More like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
No, not stop or my mom will shoot. Like if I stop, like the floor is lava. If I stop moving, I'll catch fire.
Okay.
No, the show's about software developers, so it has to do something with that.
Brian, any guesses?
I just said because Silicon Valley was taken.
Okay, so no. It was actually This is great. The score right now still is 4-2 for Josh Burns. It was a fictional computer code that people thought that if you typed in the words "halt and catch fire" into an early computer, it would actually cause quote.
It would put you in a dress and in
a rare
parade,
condition,
and
forcing
you would spin
all
around,
instructions
and your dress
to
would
complete.
explode into beautiful flames.
Basically, it would explode the computer.
You just described the Hunger Games.
I did, and Lenny Kravitz was amazing creating those beautiful dresses. Halt and catch fire, says Stanley Tucci. And she did.
God damn.
I have sucked up all the ridiculous in the room.
Since Josh Burns has sucked up all the ridiculousness out of the room here, I'm going to award him all the points, which, by the way, this was a bonus round worth 1,000 points, making his score 1,004.
Whoa. That was ridiculous how you just changed the rules on
Well,
me.
if you would have given me any goddamn answer, it would have been you.
I don't believe you. I think you would have let Josh win anyway, because that's what you do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just toss all this silliness aside and let's take a look at the world of comics, how it's affecting TV, how it's affecting movies, but most of all, how it's affecting Mr. Brian here. It's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk!
It's Mr. Brian to you.
And you need to refer to me as Slothkin Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, CJ.
You are one of those lucky bastards that I know of that is actually a pretty good artist, right? You can actually draw things.
That's like the first compliment you've paid me in like the 7 years we've known each other. Thank you.
That can't be the case. That can't be the case at all. Now, I, on the other hand, have the artistic ability of a man who was hit outside the head with a frying pan and then drowned in a lake and then resuscitated back at the shore.
Oh, wow.
I
went through a lot. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I lived.
Did you catch the one-armed man?
I did not. And you know what? Tommy Lee Jones didn't care. I thought it was very rude.
You know what? He should. I bet you if you give him an hour and a half, he'll care.
That's true. So in a press release the other day, Marvel announced the Create Your Own, a new platform that allows fans to create original comic strips using Marvel characters, stock backgrounds, and illusions. The tagline for this is Your Own Marvel Universe. And they have a just library full of characters in different positions and situations that allows you to create your own comics.
Uh-huh.
There's a few catches.
Uh-huh.
So first of the big no-nos, right? You obviously can't create any content to frighten or upset children or the parents of young children, by the way. I cannot be offended or scared by your content. You can't talk about prescription drugs, over-the-counter medication, vitamins, or dietary supplements. So do not tell me to take more vitamin B. Obviously can't talk about contraceptives, suggestive or revealing images, or bare midriffs, even though most of the female characters, that's all they do. No obscenity, bad languages, noises related to bodily functions, no politics, no death, and you cannot copy or parody any Marvel advertising creative, and you have to avoid controversial topics, including social issues, double entendres, and you are not allowed to do anything that has to do with the amusement parks that aren't Disney amusement parks. What? What am I making? I can't even kill off a character? That's half of comics.
Well, I mean, no, because if Marvel wants to steal your idea, then they can't kill off their character.
Is this no, again, you're not creating your own characters, you're using their characters.
Right, but that's my point. Like, if I make a comic starring Deadpool and I kill Deadpool, sure, and Marvel wants to take that idea from me, they're not going to kill Deadpool.
But why would Marvel want to take that idea from you?
I only see this as a way for Marvel to get ideas because they're running out of it.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
So, which is why you have all these restrictions. They have a brand to protect, and if they, for some reason, I guarantee you, there's some sort of clause that you need to sign saying that anything that you make is the property of Marvel and can be used by them at any time. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kind of like the whole thing with Venom, right? Venom was initially a fan creation, and Marvel purchased it and probably gave the guy 3 pennies.
Marvel purchased it for $20.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what they're doing here. I'm not surprised by any of the restrictions. If I were actually working for Marvel, I wouldn't want to set a theme park part of it in anything but Disney World because I'm owned by Disney.
Right. The other really weird restriction they had was sensationalism, and especially when it comes to different creatures. And one of them is killer bees. Cannot talk about killer bees.
Bees are disappearing at an alarming rate.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't like bees. Bees can die. It's fine with me.
That's not true.
We'll have robot bees. Everything will be fine.
I don't believe that.
But what do you think? I know that this is obviously a grab that Marvel will see some fans' kind of creation or storyline or something, or some kind of fan art, right? And because they're using this Marvel service, they'll be like, "Ooh, thank you," and they'll take it. But at the same time, for people who want to kind of give to the Marvel community and kind of want to let some of their creative forces out, I mean, is this all good? I mean, is this all bad? What's the verdict here on a guy who likes comic books?
As a guy who likes comic books, it's good, because that means that if Marvel does take some of this information, it means I might actually get some fresh new stories and ideas. As a person who would contribute, now I'm not saying I would ever contribute, but if I were a contributor, this is bad. It's absolutely bad. It's like Bill Finger all over again, because they can take my idea and never give me a job and say, this is ours now. You used our app and our characters to do it. So this is a good news, bad news, I guess. Well,
then what's the silver lining? What's the good part for this? I know you just said that maybe you'll get some new.
I mean, the silver lining as a creator is that my ideas get out there, right? And if you're truly want to create something, that's all you want your story to be told, right? So any medium that I can do that through is a plus. But the bad news is that if they say, hey, that's a great idea, we don't need to give you a dime for it, that's a problem.
Now, knowing that it's Disney and that it's Marvel and this is huge conglomerate and they're kind of reaching out to the community for this, do you see any potential for people to get a job or an opportunity to sit down at the table with Marvel at all? Or is this just really, hey, thanks for your great ideas and mine's now?
Well, I don't run a multi-million-dollar company, but
What?
maybe.
Whoa. What?
I don't run a multi-million-dollar company.
Well, you have that palatial estate. How do you explain that?
Yeah, I always thought it was like a Getty thing, right? You just,
Listen, it's really complicated, and it involves a lot of shell corporations with money that's not mine. I let my accountant Bernard handle all of that. I just live in the place. I don't pay for it.
This is news to me. News to me that the blockbuster that is inside your palatial estate is not fully 100% yours. I'm hurt. I'm betrayed.
It's mine right here.
I am very curious
right in my heart,
to see.
my friend.
Right now, it's just been announced, right? So it isn't fully come to fruition, and they're still working out some of the finer details. Listen, the restrictions are practical. I mean, you looked at when Sony leaked their information, and Marvel had a whole list of guidelines too, and Sony did as well as like what Peter Parker can and cannot do. This isn't the first time we've heard like crazy, outrageous things, with the exception maybe of killer bees and ibuprofen.
Yeah, they have a brand. They want to maintain that brand.
And talking about vitamins is dangerous.
But the thing about it this way, even if Marvel never takes the ideas, their characters are being used.
Oh yeah, I
for
get it.
Something.
Yeah.
So they have a brand to protect.
Absolutely, I understand it. I really do. I'm just kidding around. I think this is a cool thing. Obviously, use this at your own risk. Just know that anything you create with this could totally be taken by Marvel and used for their own purposes. So just be aware of that fact. But if you're creative enough and you have the capabilities, go make your own thing. Right? I'd love to see anything that you guys make. And if you have a nerdy outlet and you want to make comics, I'd love to see them. I'd love to read them. So send them over our direction. We'll definitely take a peek at them.
In this same vein, I highly recommend you both go on Hulu and watch Batman and Bill.
Oh, I heard about this with Kevin Smith was talking about the other.
It's a fantastic documentary about the true creator of Batman and how he got screwed, essentially.
Right. They've only just started putting his name on.
They just started putting his name in the comic books in the credits of the movies,
right?
As of 2016.
I think they did it in Justice League, didn't they?
They did. It started with Batman v Superman, though. But this guy who truly did all the heavy lifting when creating Batman didn't see anything for it. Didn't get any recognition. Didn't get a dime for it.
Well,
it's really heartbreaking. It's a great documentary. Watch it.
It's funny that you bring up DC because that is our next bit of news, and that there is a new guy in charge of Warner Brothers DC superhero
new kid
films.
On the block.
Walter Hamada is an incoming executive who will be running the DC movie universe. By the way, they came out and said the DCEU is not a thing now. It's just like the DC universe. Like, I'm so confused as to what they call this. So whatever. So this is another creative just coming in, and they think that this is going to fix everything. And I thought we had it with Jeff Johns working with everybody. I mean, we got rid of Zack Snyder for his personal reasons. Just they're trying to do anything to make this universe a success. This gentleman, right? He is the executive producer of The Conjuring and Annabelle and of It, and It has just outperformed even Justice League. I think Justice League only did like $600 million worldwide, and It has been just raking in the money left and right. So
did you see It?
I did not, because that's not my movie.
Really good.
Yeah, it's not my movie. I'll never see it.
It was really good.
But I get, is another executive the right answer to this? Like, just bringing another guy who's done low budget movies to get high revenue? Like, is that the right way?
Didn't I say this like 2-3 weeks ago? The problem has never been at the director level or at Jeff Johns' level, the consultant level. It's at the studio's level. The studios would just go hands off for a little bit. Well, they had the right people in place.
I heard the opposite when it came to Suicide Squad, right? Is that they had a vision, they had the creative staff, but then the executives came in and said, well, can we tweak this and can we change that? Because of Batman vs. Superman, we really want to do this. And the studio and the executives, right, these people were the ones who were twisting and turning all the knobs, and they messed up what could have been a good movie. Instead, it was a dumpster fire. So I guess their thing is this.
No. Now I like Suicide Squad. It wasn't as big a dumpster fire as you're making it out to be.
I disagree, but that's fine. I know I'm in a minority when it comes to that.
Regardless, I mean, it wasn't that big of a dumpster fire. And let's face it.
It was financially.
No, it wasn't. It made like at least 600 mil.
Right. That's the same as Justice League, and they're calling Justice League a failure.
Right, but the difference is that
On the
movie
marketing
cost.
budget. You're right. Okay. Touche.
Suicide Squad cost maybe 150 mil to make, and Justice League cost almost 400 mil to make.
All right. So we got some profit off.
That's the difference.
But what do you think about this? The thing that I also have been graving about was the way that Fox was going to that they were taking the X-Men franchise into that horror film, and we talked about maybe doing genre films more, working out. This is an executive producer who is focused on horror franchises, and just like we always talk about, horror movies cost a nickel to make and just rake in a ton of money.
Yeah, that's great. He'll be able to balance the books perfectly, but he's still now. I don't know anything about the guy, but I mean. You need to have somebody who is a fan of the source material to really make this happen.
And he has pledged that he's going to work very closely with Jeff Johns on this, that he is going to lean on him and make him a collaborator for this. But that's what they said last time, for the last executive.
No, that's not what they said the last time. The last time it was like, we brought Jeff Johns in to consult.
Okay.
If he says, hey, it's going to be me and Jeff Johns at the head of the table, I'm good with it. That's great.
Well, he's just saying I'm going to heavily consult with Jeff Johns. He's not saying he's going to be my right-hand man.
I'm going to heavily consult with Jeff Johns, but I don't have to listen to a freaking word he says. That's the problem. We'll see.
I mean, a new guy in charge seems accurate. Like I don't have many other thoughts. They need to go another direction. I don't really care about whether he's a fan or not. I just need to see the first product or two that he puts out there. So I'm okay. I think I've said enough times. Is it a comic book movie?
Right.
Yes. Oh, give me all the comic book movies, all of them, all the time. Look, I mean, it's no secret here. Justice League was, in my opinion, was total garbage. Yes.
Yeah.
However, I've pre-ordered it on iTunes because my kids like it. So, I'm still gonna own it. I own Wonder Woman. I don't watch it. They do, but I have it, right? And just in the same vein, you guys didn't like Suicide Squad, and I've watched that several times. I own, if it's a comic book movie, including Ant-Man, I own that shit.
Right. Okay.
Even though it's garbage, I own it.
Yeah.
Because it's a comic book movie. And that's who I am.
I'm in the same boat. I own them all too.
No,
I have some strong feelings about them.
Clearly.
I'm the nerd that doesn't, right? I'm not the one who's buying these movies a whole bunch.
You don't buy shit. You can't be considered.
Unless you can illegally stream it or mooch off your brother, you don't get it.
Hey, I pay for Netflix now. I pay for the Netflix.
$2. Let's not revisit that conversation.
It's $3 because they upped it $1.
Really tightening the old purse strings there.
The old
T-Mobile
bootstraps.
The thing is this, bottom line for me, I am not a fan of the DC movies. The last two, I've left very angry after seeing them. I really am on record saying I'm not sure if I'm going to see the next one in theaters right away. I'll probably see it because
nobody believes that you're not going to use your multipass to go.
But listen, if I'm going to see a superhero movie, I want to see it in the big formats, right? I want to see it in IMAX. I want to see it all that way, and I want to see it opening weekend. And just when it comes to DC, with the exception of Wonder Woman, I'm not in the mood to rush to the theater. Like I'm not in the mood to uproot my movie schedule and my family to go see it. So hopefully this will bring some new life into it. We'll totally see. All right. Well, rounding out today is one of my favorite little hobbies is to go around the internet and find the weird, find the obscure, and of course, ask for a tech perspective. No, nothing. Really thought we took a week off and totally gave up on the theme song. Okay, so CES 20. CES 2018 is coming up in the wonderful city of Las Vegas. If you're not familiar with CES, it is the Consumer Electronics Show. It is basically like the World's Fair now, but all about technology.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that are getting announced there, a lot of things that have kind of been buzzing. Josh, you threw in a topic here of stuff in CES that we're going to care about. I'd love to kind of hear what you found and talk a little bit about it.
Well, the thing that I saw is essentially that IoT is going to be the big thing at CES. IoT, if you've been under a rock, Internet of Things, so everything that has to do with controlling your home.
If you ever hear smart and then blank, that's Internet of Things.
Smart X, right? Yeah. Anything from entertainment to lighting to
cars, toasters,
network, appliances, locks, heat, air conditioning, you name it, it's all IoT. Everything is IoT. And I will tell you that in the past 12 months at retail, and you can see it in any large format retailer you walk into, doesn't matter if it's Walmart or Target or Best Buy, or are there more than that? I'm not sure. But any sort of large format retailer you walk into, all of them have focused on IoT. All of them have set up specific 4, 8, 16-foot sections, dedicated, specific displays, hired third-party help, whatever.
Right.
To get people buying IoT, because it's a return business type of product. And most people can't just do it on their own, right? Requires additional setup and services, which is a big revenue generator for retailers. Best Buy's in that game and not so much Target or Walmart. But the thing about IoT that makes it so interesting is that both Android and Apple are sort of heavily entrenched. Apple with HomeKit, by the way, is brilliant. Everything I use on HomeKit works seamlessly, but probably most people are more familiar with the Amazon Echo and all of its integration into IoT. And while I don't really subscribe to those sort of devices being a good standalone IoT thing, I really think it deserves and needs a more capable network and more intuitive sort of design like an iOS or Android interface, which Amazon doesn't have. Right. But all of those things, CES is, I'm hoping, and from what I'm reading, they're talking about it being there's going to be several companies making a big splash in IoT. This is exciting stuff. And for all the listeners, these are the things that, and a long time ago, we talked about take your time back or take back your time. I can't remember the phrase that I had used, but I think it was take back your time. But this IoT, absolutely everything about IoT is a time saver. Anytime you are able to control your entire home, at the touch of a finger in your hand.
Or sometimes not even having to do the work, right? Having the device do it for you.
Yes, or by the sound of your voice, or more importantly, in this case, like when you think about IoT, some of the simplest wrinkles are used by location on your phone. You have an app on your phone, you allow it to use your location all the time. You pull into the driveway and certain lights in your home turn on.
Yep.
So, a certain temperature setting turns on. That's IoT. And I got to tell you guys, this is interesting stuff. I know I'm nerdgasming just a little bit. I'll try not to get any of it on you, but it's
well, here's the other thing though. When it comes to like CES with this stuff, this goes from things that were initially when they launched as lap of luxury and really just, maybe one day we'll get this, to, hey, this becomes a little more affordable. This becomes a little more mass production. This is people getting some smart lights in their homes, but also like now getting your toaster oven involved in the deal, and making major appliances connected with that, which all means that this becomes a little easier for people to just grasp onto. So when it's time to replace your toaster oven, or when it's time to get a whole new TV set up, you're looking around to say, okay, well, what can enhance that experience? And that's really cool with CES, that they're going to show this off to the masses. This is not for the millionaires of the world. This is going to be down for people who are willing to spend a few extra bucks. Yeah,
it's for everybody, and it's going to work with everything you own, and it's going to work with stuff that you already own. Right? You don't necessarily have to buy new things.
Buy a whole new stuff. Right?
There will be ways to integrate at least some of your existing equipment, and that's pretty amazing. Now, beyond IoT. The other thing that you're going to hear about from CES is, believe it or not, 5G wireless technology. Not where we're all 4G LTE on our phones. You can see it. 5G is coming. You're going to hear about it a lot from CES. And frankly, look, if you're going to improve my speeds, my connectivity, I'm down for it. So just give me whatever. If 5G, give me. I don't care. Just give me.
The thing with 5G, and this is my nerd rant, and I'll keep it very short, is right now there actually is a commission, a actually governing body that says what 4G is, what 5G is, what are the technical requirements, and just like how can people say we have 5G? Like right now, Verizon and AT&T are saying we have 5G, and this is literally a flashback to when we had 4G. There are 4 different ways to do it, and no one had the way. So 5G, in my opinion, for this year, unless this commission comes out and gives some guidelines, is going to be a huge buzzword that may change. Like, oh, it's 5G, but it's not the real 5G yet. So it's going to come out. Things are going to be there. I'm hoping it's going to push these people to actually set the rules. So we actually
the initial speculation is a go live in 2019, and
that's what I need.
Covering the top 20% of the population by 2023.
Let's start it now.
Here's the thing: living in the Philly metro area, that's a good thing for us.
Yeah.
Living in the New York metro area, that's a good thing. But most people, sort of everywhere in between the two coasts, and not including Chicago or Texas or Miami, probably gonna have to wait a little while.
I have 2 other things that are going to be pretty big in CES, in my opinion. One of them is we're going to see VR kind of go take a back seat for a little bit.
VR is going to die, is what you're saying.
And we're going to see AR take over, right? We're going to see augmented reality.
VR is going to go the way of 3D TVs.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
VR is going to die.
VR is going to go the way of the 3D TVs. AR is going to be more prominent. I mean, just you look at AR Kit, you look at fucking how popular Pokemon Go was. It's going to take over a little bit more. I think you're going to see some more stuff that way, which would be cool. The other thing is I think you're going to see more wearables getting really serious in health, and just the way that they're going to be marketed. I think,
but not jawbone wearable.
not jawbone. No, absolutely not jawbone. But I think you're going to see maybe even some of these like AR glasses also have health applications to them. I think you're going to see glucose meters.
They're going to be sonic. They're going to be sonic.
I think you're going to see sonic AR glasses, right? That also tell you your health and your browser history. Don't look at the browser history. Very important.
The Google Glass thing with the filter off, search, lemon party, play on repeat.
Right. Yeah.
The
thing is, though, I think a lot of people now are becoming extremely health conscious because of like the Apple Watch and Fitbit, and I think you're going to see blood pressure monitors, glucose, medical band alerts, SOS things, kind of filtering into your everyday tech products. Which I
don't think we need better wearables. I don't think we need different wearables. I think we need the current wearables to do a better job.
I agree.
Apple Watch and some of the Android Wear stuff is really advanced. I think the affordable ones are severely lacking.
And I think this is where companies like Google and Apple go, that sounds like a good idea. Buy that company, please. And just
that's what they do. That's why they go to CES.
That's why they go to CES. They just go to
Apple.
CES to buy. Right. They just go to CES to buy. So I think it's very interesting. Now, Brian, you have been obviously very quiet, and I know maybe this isn't exactly your field at all. So, I mean, does anything of what we're talking about excite you? Does any of that seem promising or cool or interesting at all?
IoT should excite you, Brian.
Will IoT help me run my Foldy Mate?
Yes.
Yes. Your Foldy Mate has to.
It may also keep your very few cats in check.
Oh, that's even better.
There's very few of them, CJ.
Wait, hold on. I know there was cats, but what's like?
No.
No.
The ratio of cats to males is very low.
Oh, good. Whew. I was scared for a moment.
Will IoT allow me to have like a Roomba with a spray bottle on it to spray said cats?
You'd have to configure a robotic arm to do the job.
I'm sure you can get a Raspberry Pi to do that.
I can make that happen.
And listen, as CES rolls around and as it gets closer, some news is going to break. There's going to be a lot of talking about technology there. So prepare yourself for some more tech perspective in the coming weeks, especially after CES.
CES is next week. CES.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we not doing that?
If you're listening right now, CES is happening
starting
this week.
Yeah, it's going on. So prepare. It's going to be great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show that we have for this week. I want to thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. Again, I really want to express this. If you have something creative that you want to share with us, or you have an idea for something and you want our feedback on it, we would absolutely love to help you just share your passion with the world. That's what this website, that's what this podcast is all about. So please reach out to us on Facebook and Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. Show us your art, show us your work, and we'd love to be involved in your creative process. I want to thank Josh and Brian for being here, and we will see you all next week.
And until then,
be with you
may
all.
the sloth be with you. Yeah.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show. I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, cause you were that kind of nerd.
Felt good.
Feels good. Feels good.
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
All right, so we're winging it today. Here we go.
I can't watch things while on the plane. I will vomit.
But can you watch things in a car?
No, I get bad motion sickness.
It's weird.
No, it's not. It's science. It's called motion sickness.
I don't know if All right.
Do you know what causes motion sickness? Because it is science.
Sure, it's something with your inner ear and some fluids.
No. Are you ready?
Go for it.
All right. Just be careful, because I don't think your insurance covers blown minds. So, what motion sickness occurs when your eyes don't perceive that you are moving, but your brain does. So, in a plane or in a car, your brain is feeling the shifts of, G-force on it and saying, "Oh, we're moving," but your eyes look around and you're pretty much stationary, and your eyes are like, "Well, we're not moving. This is weird." So your brain interprets that as saying, "Oh shit, someone must have poisoned you. I need to get the poison out." And that's why you vomit. Look it up. That's exactly what motion sickness is.
Wow. I did not know that. And now I do.
You are welcome.
The more you know.
You tell the jokes, I sing the songs and get the girls.
No, okay. All right, that makes sense.
No, it's the other way around. I tell the jokes, you sing the songs and get the girls.
But I tell jokes too. My jokes are funny.
But you had the palatial estate. That's how you get the girls.
I don't like the fact that you guys are trying to put me in a box.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.